Oh,
Whoa. Hey.
I think we're starting.
Yep. We can hear you.
I sure can.
Is where I don't even see the stream as being up. Oh, there it is.
Wait, why don't I see a chat? Oh no.
I sure can. Is where I see the stream as
Fix it.
Oh, there it is. I think.
Check 1, 2, check. Hey, yo. Check, check, check. It's me. There I am. Mikey, what's up, man? Forgot you were in the stream just chilling to the smooth beats. Yeah. We picked a good one tonight. All right. I think the stream should be able to hear me now.
I can't even, mine's broken. I can't see the chat.
You can't see the chat on YouTube?
Now everybody's going to make fun of me and I'm not going to know it.
I won't tell you anything bad that happens. Josh, how's it going, man?
Hey. Great.
Dude,
how are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Once a year.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Mikey confirmed he can hear me. I'm hosting the stream tonight, so if Mikey, if you hear anything that doesn't sound right, just let me know and I'll tweak it. I haven't hosted the stream in a long time, so I had to do a bunch of setup tonight. But everybody, welcome. Happy Moviga Monday. I have a guest in my room tonight. My son, he's sitting there playing on my Sega Genesis Mini.
Does he have clothes on now?
He does. Yes, he's covered. He'll be moving to his room on the break. But yeah, guys, tonight we are having a very special episode because some of us can't be on next week, even though we have another week before Halloween. But tonight we're doing a spooky episode where we are going to focus on all things horror and scary things. And yeah, I'm excited to have special guest with us, Josh. And Justin, I feel like you and I haven't got to talk horror stuff in a while, at least not on the pod.
No.
So This is going to be great. I'm excited.
Well, oh no, why can't I hear you?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now I can.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, before we get started, we are going to start recording the podcast very soon, but feel free to keep typing away in the chat, and we will get to you as we can. Mikey, you hate horror movies? Oh, no. There's got to be some that you like. There's got to be something out there. What about horror games?
I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, same here. Too scary for you, Mikey. But yeah, we're going to start the recording soon, so we'll get to the chat as we can, but feel free to keep it lively in there. And we'll take a couple of breaks here and there, and yeah, we're probably not going to be spoiling anything tonight, so don't worry about that. And yeah, I think we're actually good to go. I'm going to bring up my recording. Josh, are you ready to record your audio?
Oh, hang on. Yes, absolutely. Let me pull this up. I totally forgot about that.
No problem. It was like the last thing that I remembered to do before clicking go live. We're going to sync up with a clap, and I'll count it down, and then I'll do the intro. All right, let's see. Let me move.
I'm all set.
I got to move some stuff around because...
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't normally host the podcast, so I'm like I've been working with a one monitor setup for like almost a year now.
That's crazy.
I know. The thing is, like, I set up my desk so that I could have my work stuff and my PC and my PlayStation all on the same desk, and it just required me to split the monitors between the things. So
Sounds like you just need to wall mount more stuff.
yeah, you're right. I need to get some just any kind of mount, but some I have a bunch of screens, I just don't have a place for them. But anyways. All right, I'm going to start recording, and then we'll start the podcast. So, everybody ready?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm recording. All right, I'm going to count us down. Everybody clap after 3. All right, ready? Or actually, after 1. We'll do 3, 2, 1, clap. All right, ready, guys? 3, 2, 1, clap. Excellent.
I think we did.
I think we did.
I'm going to get time codes in as well. All right, cool. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moviga podcast, where we are talking all things movies, video games, and more. My name is Austin, and tonight I am joined by Justin.
What up?
And a very special guest, Josh.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, Josh. Welcome, Justin. And guys, tonight we have a very special, spooky, Halloween-ish episode for you guys. It is the Horror Boys back once again to talk all things movies, video games, and more, but horror related. And I'm pretty excited. We've had our own little group chat going on for a while now, and Justin, Josh, and I talk about horror movies all the time. But Justin and I don't really get to talk about them that much on the podcast. So I am more excited than ever to have Josh with us. And we are going to talk about some horror movies and some horror video games and possibly some other media. But before we get into all of that, don't forget to follow us here on YouTube, where we are recording our podcast live every Moviga Monday at 8 p.m. Give us a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then follow us on social media at Moviga Podcast. And just rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to the audio podcast, which goes live every Friday. So make sure you stay up to date with that. And with that out of the way, we do this every year, but Josh, would you like to give a quick intro for those of us who may be new, don't know who you are or what you do? And then you're going to have to tell us your favorite horror movie.
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Josh. I love horror movies, obviously, which is why I'm here. For my day jobs, I make and sell tabletop board games. I work for Restoration Games, and we make games like Unmatched, which is awesome and fun. And I get to be a part of a really cool team with people that are really talented, and I get to help their creations come to life. And then I also co-own a board game publisher called Pickpocket Games, so that keeps me super busy. That's actually how I met the Moviga crew, was at a board game convention. So I go to a lot of conventions. I play a lot of tabletop board games. I partake in a lot of media. I am reading, playing video games, or watching movies, television often. Yeah, I love it. And you can see back here, I love comic books. That's like my true love, is especially banned books from the 50s and 60s. I think it's fascinating, a really interesting piece of American history. So if anybody ever wants to talk comics, movies, music, shoot me a message on Discord and I will talk all those things. My favorite horror movie is The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
iconic. There are so many movies today that you can take a string and attach it to a movie that just came out last week, and that string goes right back to The Thing when you're looking at crazy effects and how to implement horror into gore and visual depictions of violence. Like, so many things go back to so many movie tropes can be traced back to The Thing in a very tangible way, and I think that's fascinating. And I love practical effects, so gotta say The Thing.
Awesome. And are you a big fan of John Carpenter's work in general? I know the thing is kind of like feels like an outlier of John Carpenter's work, maybe aside from Halloween, because it's so good in my opinion. It's like on another level from his body of
Yeah.
work.
You know, I'll never turn down a John Carpenter film, but I would say The Thing is the only one that really resonated with me like that. The other films that get me like that are, so I love strong practical effects, and that one just shines in that. And it felt like they wanted to push the limits. And I don't think that's the case for all the other John Carpenter films, even though a lot of like that crew was the same. I forget the guy's name that directed the practical effects and led up the practical effects.
But yeah, Rob
Um,
Bottin or something like that.
yes. But other movies that scratch that same itch for me are like um, Green Room is a big one for
Oh
me.
yeah.
Some of
Yeah.
the some of the effects in that one are just very striking. Similar to Green Room, I think it's some of this maybe the same production team was Blue Ruin, which also had some
Oh
really cool
yeah.
practical effects. Just very subtle effects too that were super compelling. Yeah, I love that. And I love body horror stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Dude, speaking of body horror, we're gonna get into our top three um, of the week. Normally it's top three of the week, but I'd say let's just keep it horror focused, and we're gonna talk about like
Ooh.
maybe top three horror movies, video games, board games, or experiences from recently. We're gonna keep it as recent as possible. Um, some of you guys may know I've been, this month I've been trying to watch as much horror movies as possible. So I'll go first, real quick, to segue into a very, very good, in my opinion, body horror movie that I saw recently that came out this year, starring Dave Franco. And it's his wife, right? Allison Brie, is that her name?
Yeah.
I think, right? A movie
Yeah.
called Together, directed by Michael Shanks. And I just watched it for the first time this past weekend, and I feel like I was totally thrown off by the trailers and marketing. I thought this movie was going to be really basic and not really have much in the way of, like explanation as to why things like certain things happen. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen the trailer.
Yep.
Um, but it did a really good job. I think it did just enough for me to where I didn't have like a ton of I didn't have any like lingering questions, and I didn't feel like it wasn't enough for me to be satisfied at the end. I think it was just like the perfect amount of not over explaining. And then on top of that, of course, like the effects, there's some CG, of course, like it wouldn't have been possible to do it without in the way that they showed it. But really, like the effects that it showed when it came to the body horror moments were just like really, really gruesome at times, like super interesting to look at, like some stuff that could like make you sick to your stomach if you look for too long. I really liked the movie a lot overall. I liked it more than I thought I was going to be completely honest. I know some people have mixed feelings. The movie does have good reviews. It has really good ratings for the most part. But I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and I was really happy with it. So yeah, that's my first one. My second one is we watched the recent I Know What You Did Last Summer like reboot thing. And we turned it on just because we had time and we wanted to watch something, like scary or whatever. And as soon as that like Sony Pictures logo came up, I just knew we were not going to have a lot of fun with that one. Like Sony live action stuff is just so terrible, especially recently with all this like Spider-Man universe villain movies. I was like, this is either about to be so bad that it's boring or so bad that it's like kind of fun to laugh at. And it was fun. It was like not that horrible. It wasn't like as boring as I feared, but it was not very good. And I don't want to like spoil the movie, but I just hate this current trend that Halloween 2018 started of having these like late sequels. And I really
Yup.
like it for that movie. I really like Halloween 2018, but it doesn't seem like any other franchise can do it as well as they did with that. So yeah, not a recommend for me. Some fun kills like here and there, but overall it just kind of felt very tame compared to what it could have been. And
Yeah.
I guess from
Can I jump off that real
yeah,
quick with one
yeah,
comment?
please do.
So I will say those like legacy sequels where
That's what it's
we're
called.
getting
Yeah.
the characters from the old ones. I'm so done with it.
Yeah.
Get it out of here with a few exceptions, but uh Final Destination Bloodlines to me was a perfect way to do it. I thought that was fitting to the story. It was a character I wanted to see on screen again. It wasn't overdone. That's what I want in the legacy sequels. I don't want another like yeah, yeah. I
I agree.
won't spoil other movies, but exactly
Yeah.
like you're saying with that film, yeah, I don't want that.
No, yeah. It felt like it was a straight up like just a reboot of everything, and then they included legacy characters essentially just to capture nostalgia, and that's it for no real purpose. Let me round out my top three real quick. Let me think. I mean, I guess speaking of Halloween, we did watch that one again, Halloween 2018. I really like it a lot. I really like the comedic parts of the movie too, like the kid like that's being babysat. All of his lines are hilarious to me. Um, I really like Jamie Lee Curtis and like what it showed what she kind of turned into as a result of everything that happened in like Halloween 1 and 2. Because I guess it's like if I remember correctly, when it first came out, I remember hearing or reading that it was essentially a direct sequel to Halloween 2. Or maybe it skipped the second one and just was a sequel to the first one. But anyways, it ignored all the ones between like that initial story. Because Halloween 2 takes place on the same night as the original one does, those from back in the day. And sorry, he just it's okay. It's okay.
Uh-oh.
He fell. All right, you got to be careful, okay?
I didn't know where that tear was.
It's okay. Just okay.
Right here.
Okay, where's she back?
Have my child in the background.
Sorry.
That's my dog
Oh.
Charlie.
Oh yeah. I don't
Licking
have
her
my child in the
paws.
background.
Alrighty. Real quick, just to go back to that. Sorry about the interference. But yeah, Halloween 2018 is still pretty good in my opinion. I like the ending a good bit. I'm also like very indecisive on like how I want that type of movie to end, where I think they ended it to leave it open for a sequel in case the movie did really well. And I feel like it was obvious that they did that, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time, I feel like the movie itself was good enough to get a sequel. I don't think the sequels to that one are like really worth watching, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, we watched that. So I think Together was my favorite out of those three that we watched recently. I really liked the movie a lot, but yeah, I'll let me popcorn it over to Justin. Let's hear your top three.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Okay. So, I'm literally going through. Me and Josh were talking about this before he came on the air. I'm literally going through our text thread to see what I watched this year.
Nice.
So the top three that I've watched recently, is think I've gone through everything. But probably so I watched The Fly for the first time
Oh yeah.
with Jeff Goldblum. And it was awesome. I don't
That was your first time seeing it, right?
this is my first time seeing it.
I watched it right after also. I think we watched it like 2 days apart from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so
Crazy.
good. I was really, I don't know. I wasn't expecting, I guess like, I just didn't expect. I mean, I get like The Thing was great. I don't know. I guess I just didn't expect a horror movie from the 80s to be as good as that one was. But like the body horror, I mean, Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldblum. And like, yeah, it was great. And it was like 0 to 100. Like it wasn't even like, it's not a slow burn. It's like, we're gonna jump right into this.
Yeah, they didn't waste
But-
much time.
No, so yeah, so that was good. And then I watched VHS Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Just because I think, and that was the best of. I think I've seen all the VHS films at this point. And that was definitely the best one in recent memory.
Nice.
I love even the bad ones. Like I just like Josh likes body horror. I like body horror too, but I think I prefer found footage. Like is my preferred genre. And that was part of the reason that I've just pushed myself through even some of those bad VHSs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because at this point, I don't even know how many there have been. I
There's
may
like-
not have seen them all because it's so confusing.
There's like at least 4, I feel like.
Oh, there's more than
Oh,
that.
there's like 7, I think. There's
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
There's
way
a ton.
behind. Oh, by the way,
Um,
for anyone that doesn't know, VHS is a series of anthology style horror found footage
Yep.
movies. VHS is
Yep.
like the series title. So Justin
Yep.
hasn't seen every
Film
single VHS
series.
tape.
I've
but-
seen every VHS tape that has ever been made.
But yeah, they're a good watch. Some of them, there's some highlights for sure. In
Oh, yeah.
There's also
the
some
VHS
duds.
series.
Let's just call it
yeah,
what it
they're
is. though.
definitely-
There are some real stinkers in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I think honestly, I would say there are more stinkers than there are great ones.
Yeah. certainly.
But I do think this one, the Halloween one, had more good going for it than bad.
Yeah.
And so that one was good. And then I'm sorry, Austin, I just realized Trick or Treat didn't make my top 3. But
Ouch. That
because I
one hurt.
watched that for the first time recently. But
But you
the
did like
the
it. You
best
loved it.
the best thing that I've watched lately, and I don't know, we even had this conversation in our text thread, but like horror is so weird now because like there are so many, like even like we talked about Presence at one point, which is like marketed as a horror film, but it felt more like a, I don't know, thriller / drama than an actual horror film.
Yeah.
This one might be one that you might not consider horror, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But The Rule of Jenny Penn, which is John Lithgow and Jeffrey Rush,
Oh, nice.
and
cast.
basically they're both in a nursing home, and John Lithgow is a nursing home bully. And simply for John Lithgow's performance alone, because it's so like, I feel like it's so out of his like, or it's just something, it's a it's a character I've never seen him play anything like that before. And it was just really good. There's not a, it was more of one of those like horror film, like this makes me feel icky and like not good, than like, there aren't jump scares. It's not going to like have you on the edge of your seat about what's coming next. Like, it's just, I don't like that. But yeah, so that was probably my favorite thing that I've watched recently.
Nice.
So
that came out
what about you, Josh?
not that long ago, right? Real quick.
It's actually on our list of what's come out in the past year.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
But I don't know if it was a theatrical release. I think it was Shudder.
Okay. All right. Josh, take it away.
Okay, so I have not watched as many movies as I normally would recently, but so I had to dig back a little bit, but not too far. So I'm gonna start actually with a game, and it's not really a horror game, but I'm big on atmospheric stuff also. I'm playing Clover Pit. Have either of you seen that?
No.
Clover Pit.
It's by the same team that did, from the team that brought you Balatro. Comes a new roguelike, and instead of it being a poker roguelike, it's a slot machine roguelike.
Yes.
Okay.
I am enjoying it. I have some complaints with it. But it's very atmospherically dark and comedic. It feels like you're kind of dropped in a saw trap at times in a fun way. If you liked Balatro, it does some of that very well. But I think the variety of puzzles you can solve in a Balatro deck with the tools they give you with those jokers has a much wider range of how you can approach your deck and find solutions and make combos. And I will say with this one, the slot machine, I thought, there's going to be all these different cool ways I can make new combos and chain things together. And there are little things that they seem like low-hanging fruit that maybe it'll give me later on, but it just hasn't given me. So it doesn't feel like I have the same amount of control over building my solution to the puzzle that I do in Balatro. So I'm not enjoying that a ton. But my favorite thing about it is how atmospheric it is. It's a silly slot machine death trap, and you're stuck in it, and the computer or whoever is holding us there is making fun of you every time you start a new game. Like, it's great. So
it looks similar. Is it similar to did you ever play Inscription?
I did not. No.
Okay. It looks similar. Inscription is kind of the same, but you're playing a card game. But you're trapped in this cabin, and this guy's forcing you to play the game.
Yeah, that sounds pretty similar to to what this is.
You would love, if you like Balatro, you would love Inscription, Josh. It's amazing. And it has that same kind of atmosphere, like you're trapped and there's like all this other stuff that kind of adds to like a horror environment. Like, it's very, it can be spooky, very spooky at times.
I will check out Inscription.
That's awesome.
My next one, Justin, dang it was going to be The Fly. So all I'm going to say about The Fly is, wowee, I loved it. And that nightmare scene was
my gosh, dude.
One of my favorite dream sequences in any film ever.
Yeah. Really
and to jump into it, and immediately you've got the imagery of Rosemary's Baby happening. And it was so clever how they did that. I loved it. Completely sold. That was the highlight of the movie for me, was that scene. So that's all I'm going to say about The Fly, and instead I'm going to add in The Long Walk. This is one that I would say is also, like, I wouldn't call it horror. it's got horror elements. I would definitely say it's a drama first and a horror second, and I think that's good for the film. I was expecting a really bad movie. Honestly, I thought I saw the whole movie in the trailer. Why am I going to watch this? I know how it ends. They showed me in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
And then I watched it and I cried 3 times. I
Whoa.
was so connected to these characters.
Nice.
And
Unexpected.
they gave me nothing of a story. The story they told was, look, meet these people. You don't need to know the rest. This is about people who are encountering this long walk. Wow, I loved it. And it's not a horror, really. I wouldn't call it a horror, but it's graphic and it's disturbing. But I would say it is a drama, and it's a really well done drama that uses horror. So that's what I'd say. So The Long Walk is number 2, and number 3 is VHS 94.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I had not
Ratman.
Ratman was the highlight. VHS 94, just like the other VHS's anthology, it had some real good like spooky stuff going on, some real stinkers. The 2 that I loved were Ratman, which was so fun, camped out. I could watch that every day. And then the vampire one at the end was also very fun, pretty dark. Didn't feel as silly as some of the others, but was really, I thought, a clever story. Yeah, so those are my 3.
Nice. As a body horror fan, I feel like The Fly was just perfect for you, right?
I don't know how I hadn't seen it, because I like Cronenberg.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
some reason, I thought you had recommended that movie at one point. But I have no idea who recommended that movie to me.
It was me all along.
I wonder, maybe it came up in our group chat at some point. I know I've seen it like back in the day, and again recently, like not too long ago, maybe like a year and a half ago or something. But I don't remember like directly recommending it though. But anyways, yeah,
I know I've seen parts of it before. I just never actually sat down and watched it.
I feel like that
Oh, good.
dream. I can't remember which one came out first, but isn't that dream sequence very much like Aliens, like the beginning of Aliens, when Ripley has a very similar dream? I feel like maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like in Aliens, like after Ripley like gets rescued and then she wakes up in the Wayland Yutani like hospital bed or whatever. I'm pretty sure she has a dream that's like similar to that. But anyways, I don't know which one. I guess The Fly maybe would have come out first.
Maybe.
But yeah, those type of dream sequences are really good, and that one was a strong one.
It was great. It was great. This isn't a movie, but I do need to call out. I saw Zach Cherry, who's Dylan in Severance, on the Amtrak the other day. And I freaked out a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I didn't even go up to him and say hi. I was super cool about it. But I wanted to. I was like, wow, this is my favorite character, my favorite actor in maybe my favorite show of all time, second favorite show of all time.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's a real life person, believe it or not.
And they let him out. That he's not.
They let him out.
Awesome.
Chelsea, my wife, is like, why is he riding? Why is he on the Amtrak? Why doesn't he have like a car? It's like, it's
Why
his
is it
breakout
someone-
role. He's just a dude.
Nice. All right, I think that's gonna wrap up our top 3. So, we are gonna take a break. Might have to be a slightly extended one. That'll be my fault. But then we will be right back, and we're gonna get into some topics that we have for the night, horror movie themed, of course. So stick with us, and we will be right back.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna have to move Arden to the room. It is approaching bedtime, so I will be back as quickly as I can.
It's approaching my bedtime also.
So,
What are you, old man?
We'll hustle.
I'll wait for you to drive up here and tuck me in next, okay?
All right. All right, I'll be right back, guys.
I can't wait for Friday. I'm finally going to get to watch Weapons. Still haven't
you
seen
haven't
it.
seen it yet?
I haven't.
Oh, I even knew that. Dude, you're gonna love it.
I was hoping we were going to be able to do this on Monday because I was going to make sure I watched it, but
Yeah. It's on streaming now, I think, right?
it comes on Friday,
Okay.
I think.
I might need to switch up what I talk about later on because I don't want to spoil anything.
No, don't switch it up because I know Austin's seen it too, so I can always take my headset off for a second.
Okay. Maybe we'll do that. I'm not gonna do it now, but do you use what is it called? Audacity to record your sound?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hit the record button or the stop button when it's over?
The stop button.
Okay. Because last time I did it wrong and the recording didn't exist, so
Oh, really?
I'm gonna make sure I do it right this time.
Welcome to Dairy. What are you thinking about that? This isn't really pod talk. We're not talking about stuff coming out.
Yeah, it's fine. This is bonus content for whoever's in the chat.
Yeah, this is bonus content.
The two people in the chat that don't like horror movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I worry a little that it's going to be too redundant, and we saw the full arc of it.
Right.
Like now, I don't know. I don't see the purpose in doing a prequel for the monster, unless I don't know. Like, what arc can you give him that is more compelling than that original one?
Right.
And I think it'll have some really cool moments that I'll want to watch, but I don't feel like I want to devote hours into watching a prequel for the character that I know what's going to happen in Derry eventually. Right. I don't know. Maybe I'm a hater.
The only thing, I shouldn't say only thing. The thing I'm most excited about is I just love Bill Skarsgård.
Yep, same. Did you see the poster that was Pennywise charging with like the three faces because he's blurry because he's shaking his head?
No, I don't think so.
It's a great
poster. That one.
That looks better than the entire show. It's just that one poster.
Just no need to see it now. That poster did it.
Exactly. No, I just watched a video earlier today. It was like this guy does reviews of movies and stuff that I follow, and he was saying there hasn't been a new icon that's unique to cinema in like 9 years. He's saying that his measure for that is like it'll be a Halloween costume for the next 5 years.
Oh yeah.
He was basically saying all of the new ones are franchises that have already been around for more than 10 years. There's not a new one. And I was trying to think of one, and the only one I could come up with, because I was like, maybe it's Art the Clown, but I think that's more than 10 years old now, the original.
Yeah, like All Hallows Eve.
Yeah. But if you count the franchise movies, then I don't think so. Like, that's more recent. So I thought of that, and then the Black Phone, but I heard the second one is a real dud. So I don't know. Like, the first Black Phone, I could have seen that being an iconic face of horror for
Yeah, I don't know. The monster from Barbarian. I'm just kidding.
Hey, do you want to come to our church's trunk or treat? We're gonna have one trunk with the barbarian monster woman.
Mikey, that is Art the Clown. He is the clown in the Terrifier. So I actually just worked a so there's a like a garden, botanical garden type place up the road from my house. And oh, he's back.
I don't think bedtime worked.
But every year they do like a haunted trail to raise money for the gardens. So I worked it this weekend and the theme was like circus. And so the area that I was working was clowns. And it was really cool. One of the gimmicks in the trail in our part was it was like a framed painting of Art the Clown, but not like the original art, like the happy looking Art the Clown.
Yeah.
And
Eve art.
Yep. And so it was funny because every time somebody would come through and they would see that, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Art the Clown." And nobody else realized that it was like, they thought they were just saying, "Look at this art." Like they would come in and say, "Look at this art." And they would just think like, "Oh, these paintings of these," because they had come in and painted clowns everywhere.
Yep.
But the gimmick was it was a drop door. So like people would come and they'd be looking at this painting and then the door would drop, or like the whole painting would drop and there would be somebody like behind the door.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, so it was funny that like nobody really knew it was Art from Terrifier because it was the other Art.
Yeah. I like that.
All right, mission failed.
Don't worry,
we'll
Austin.
get them next time.
We kept them entertained.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate that. My guest will remain.
We were talking about how we think the next big Halloween costume should be the monster from Barbarian.
You know, I'm just gonna try to work that physique and do it all natural for next year. You know, I think I can pull it off. But I think that's a great idea. OBS is telling me I dropped a little bit of frames earlier. So if the stream starts getting choppy, let me know. I can bump that down, I think. But anyways, I think I'm ready to get back into it. So we're going to go back in and we are going to talk about some of the biggest and best horror movies that came out since we last met on this podcast, which was last November. We're going to talk about some of our favorites of the year, and then we're also going to talk about some recommendations for first timers just getting into horror movies, games, or some other mediums. So we're going to hop back in from the break, and let me get these time codes going, and we are good to go. Okay, 1 second. Welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. So we are back after the break, and we are going to be talking about some of the biggest horror movies that have come out since the last time we were on this podcast together. So essentially everything that came out since last November. There's been a lot. I feel like this year has been full of highlights, full of big stuff. Full of some just really good movies overall. I would say the quality of horror films for this year has been pretty solid. Some unexpected things and some stuff that really resonated with me personally. Some stuff I really, really enjoyed this year. So I'm excited to talk about it. I feel like it's been a great year for horror. And a lot of stuff I keep seeing like on social media, like when I'm on Reels or just like on Instagram looking around, I feel like people highlight the like the more unique stuff, or like horror movies that aren't part of a franchise, like original ideas.
Yeah.
And I really, really like that a lot. Especially some of the stuff that's been more low budget has been really, really great. Obviously, like,
Yeah, like
there's
The Woman in the Yard.
yeah, yeah, really great. There's also been some really high profile stuff, like Sinners came out in January, I think. Is that right?
Oh,
It's
how did I miss that one? I didn't even put that one on the list.
Justin, shame on ya.
Oh,
But yeah, so let's talk about it. What came out in November?
Heretic.
Since November or in November?
In November, yeah, Heretic. That was one.
That was the only like
Yeah.
big name one that I saw.
That was one that I didn't watch until kind of more recently. I think I watched it over the summer when it
Same.
came to Max. I think it came to HBO
Yep.
Max or something like that. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I think I didn't think I was going to like it because of the trailer. It looked very predictable to me. And then the movie had me guessing the whole time. This was one I was going to mention when I was talking about Together, where it gave me just enough to where I didn't feel like I had a bunch of questions at the end, or like I didn't have too many to the point where I felt like it didn't explain enough. That's how I felt personally, and I actually really liked the movie a lot. I thought it was really good. Did you guys see Heretic and like it?
Yeah. I did see it. I also really liked it. I have described it to friends as a like toxic Redditor on screen for an hour and a half. Like that's kind of what it felt like a troll lord Redditor. But it was fun, and I went in with really low expectations and was impressed. So the acting, I think, was the main thing that got me.
Yeah,
really
I
was
think
impressed.
I was actually gonna make that comment. I think I said the same thing about The Rule of Jenny Penn. Like I think Hugh Grant's performance is one of the things that made it for me.
It was really
Just
good.
because again, it's just like it's not a role that I ever would have expected to see him play. But he did it because we're used to seeing him in like rom-coms and like and to see him in that role and do so well was just really cool.
He was very convincing, and he like not just in the role, but his character also was like very persuasive, and like he felt like he had something to counter and every argument or answer any type of question. Like he had a really strong argument that in his own way felt like it was backed up too. Like he could answer any question that you made about his ideology, I guess. Yeah, the acting, of course, like Josh said, really good in that one.
And for the scaredies in the chat, I would say that's one that anyone could watch.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation for first time or interested in horror. Not a very scary one. It is it's intense at times, but it's not going to give you nightmares, I would say.
Yeah. Right. I didn't like the part where they were vomiting bugs and ripping each other's spines out. But aside from that,
yeah, the Mortal Kombat fatality moves were a bit overkill, but yeah, agreed.
No, it was a good at like entry level horror, I'd say too.
For sure.
Yeah, but also had plenty to offer for people that already know and love horror.
So in moving on to December, one of the biggest horror movies of recent memory, Nosferatu, came out in theaters. I didn't actually get to see this one until January, but I did get to see it in the theater, so I was very happy about that. My wife took me to see that on my birthday, and it was pretty fantastic at especially like production wise, like everything about the visuals, everything about like just the presentation of the movie itself, just like all of Rob Eggers' movies, was just on another level. Like it looks amazing, it sounds amazing, everything is like very authentic, it's believable. And then of course you have a great cast in this movie as well, and just probably like one of the coolest and like kind of bizarre looking like monster designs of anything you would normally see as like a kind of like a main character type of thing, like a villain that has a lot of screen time is kind of like one of the main characters of the movie alongside the protagonist, and he just looks so bizarre, but I love the look of
It
Count
was the
Orlok.
mustache, wasn't it?
Yeah, the mustache was a choice, but I feel like it in combination with the rest of the character design, it really sold me. It worked for me, and I liked the movie a lot. What did you guys think of Nosferatu?
That was one of my favorite horror films I've seen in a long time. And it was one of the first like jump scares. It had one of the first jump scares in a really long time that got me.
Dude, that was came out of nowhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was great. And again, I just thought, I mean, all around great movie, but Lily Rose Depp was incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was so good. I love that movie so much.
It's probably in my top 10 movies.
Yeah.
Period. Like,
Nice. Very nice.
horror aside, it's
Right.
got to be up there for me. I mean, again, atmospheric, having a gothic horror that is so intentional, and it didn't feel like the setting and the story had to go together. Count Orlok and Lily Rose Depp made that entire movie. And let's just say it, the sexual tension in that movie, like the conflict of watching that movie and the tension and the stress and the frustration and the sexuality that's displayed, and it was done so well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
I fell into that movie while I was watching it.
Yeah.
It was like 3 hours long. That was a long movie. And when it was ending, I like it just felt like everything left my body. Like my soul went with the screen there for a minute because I was so tired and exhausted from watching that in a good way. Like I felt like I was in a part of that film.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movie experiences in a long time.
Yep. It was so good.
And I could put Lily Rose Depp in anything and I'll watch it.
Yes,
now.
please.
I went from being like, why did they cast Lily Rose Depp to
Yeah.
if they would have cast anyone else, this would be a total dud.
Yeah. I am so glad I did not skip that in the theater because we went and saw it. My birthday was the last day it was actually in theaters, at least around here. So I'm really glad we did not skip that one. Yeah, I loved it. That, like you mentioned, the atmosphere, it's just so thick in that movie. It's just done so well. And all of the, like, Nicholas Hoult, sold a lot of the dread in that movie. Like, anyone that gets near the count or has to interact with him, like, they visibly get shaken just by being near him or having a conversation with him, and they all just sold that so well. Yeah, Nosferatu was awesome, and I'm excited for his new movie, Werewolf, coming out.
Oh yeah.
Rob Eggers. Anyways, yeah, let's move on to January. 2 movies. One for me that was highly anticipated, and another one that was just highly anticipated by a lot of people. From Ryan Coogler, Sinners, obviously a high-profile horror movie, which, not a very scary movie to me. A lot of action in the movie, kind of a genre blend of sorts. Had a really good time seeing this in the theater. If you guys remember back in January, February, whenever I got around to seeing this out, if you remember, I told a unfortunate story about how the smoke alarm went off right at the beginning of the third act, and they evacuated my theater. Unfortunately, we had to go back in, and we just kept yelling at the guy behind the booth to rewind, keep rewinding. Okay, stop. Okay, that's where we were. Okay, play it. So after about like a 40-minute intermission, we were allowed to go back in, and we got to finish our movie, which was awesome. And we had a lot more leg room because a lot of people kind of just left after that. So it was cool. But yeah, I had a great time watching Sinners. I haven't gotten around to watching it again, but I did enjoy that one quite a bit. I feel like it kind of lived up to its hype in most regards. Really like the music in the film. I think that was a very unique thing, especially for horror. It kind of made me think about old movies like Crossroads or something, which is not a horror movie at all. But yeah, I liked that one a lot. It has a massive finale. Like the third act is just huge, which I appreciate. Yeah, great pacing in that one. Yeah, I liked Sinners a lot. What did you guys think?
I loved it. That was one I haven't seen. I think The Batman was the last movie I've seen in theaters, so spoiler alert. But
Justin.
but I thought it was fantastic. I loved Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld were, well, I guess now, yeah. But so good, loved it. The end.
Yep.
Nice.
Same. And what? Why am I blanking on the other guy's name? The singer.
Oh yeah, Miles.
Yeah.
Something. I can't remember his name either.
Also,
I think that was his acting debut, was it not? I believe.
Yeah.
Katon.
Oh yeah.
Imagine, literally, your acting debut is standing up next to those actors and actresses.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And the music was so good.
Yeah, I loved it. I want to watch that one again. I think it's streaming now.
It is, because that's how I saw it.
Oh, nice.
I'm so glad. I feel like we're in the era of period piece thriller horror movies.
It's cool.
I love a period piece. And when you add horror, I think that's why folk horror is one of my favorite horror genres too, just because I love anything period piece related.
Another movie that came out in January, which January can be kind of a dumping ground when it comes to horror movies. I feel like studios that have essentially no faith in their movie will just put something out in January because nothing big ever comes out then, typically. And Wolfman was directed by Lee Winnell, who previously directed The Invisible Man, as well as some older films, like worked with James Wan on like the Saw franchise and things like that. But this one was one that I was very excited for because I felt like Lee Winnell was trying to rebuild the dark universe of monster movies, like classic Universal monster movies, and Wolfman was going to be, his second feature in this universe, like Invisible Man, then Wolfman, and then move on to something else like Dracula or Creature of the Black Lagoon or The Mummy or something like that. But them releasing this in January felt like made me very disappointed. And then when I watched the movie, I was pretty disappointed myself, I gotta say. I had pretty high hopes because I felt like The Invisible Man was a really, really good, really strong movie. Not like we keep mentioning, is not strictly horror, more of like a thriller, like a very intense thriller. But it is kind of based off of that old Universal property of The Invisible Man. But Wolfman is definitely more of a actual horror movie, where it does have like a werewolf in it, like in a transformation scene, true horror elements in this one. But it just didn't really work for me overall. I think there was some really cool elements to this, but I feel like there were just too many different things that he was trying to do with the direction of this movie, where it should have been a lot more focused on just one of those really good ideas. And instead it just felt really kind of spread out with all of its good ideas. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen The Wolfman. I watched it on HBO Max. I think it's streaming there now.
Yeah, it's one I haven't watched it. It's one that like whenever I finish watching a movie and I don't remember which streaming service I was watching it on, but it would like automatically start a movie and like Wolfman started one time,
Yeah,
but I like stopped it pretty quickly.
gotcha.
So
Yeah,
and I just haven't gotten back to it.
I would say it's worth a watch, but don't go in expecting too much. Here's like an example of my issue with it. There's a scene where the main character is like going through this transformation. He's like slowly turning into the Wolfman. And there's a scene where he
Wow, spoilers.
he starts to lose the ability to understand English because he's learning because he's becoming an animal essentially. And this scene is done so well where his wife is trying to take care of him because she thinks that he's sick, like has some kind of infection or something. And it shows her perspective of him like talking nonsense and looking super confused. And then it switches to his perspective where it has him from his eyes looking at his wife, and her voice is so distorted and strange sounding that you can't understand what she's saying. So it's like him realizing that he's losing the ability to be human because he can't even understand his own wife who's trying to take care of him anymore. And I feel like they just don't do anything with it after that. Like there's some more like body transformation type stuff, like a little bit of good body horror stuff. And then they just don't do enough with it. And just so on and so forth. Like there's another character in the movie that has gone through the same process, and they don't get to interact a whole lot. So it's like it would have been cool if there was like if there was like someone to mentor him through that, or if it could have been like an arch nemesis or something like that. I don't know, but just all of the good ideas that were there were just really felt like they started and then stopped, and then next good idea started and stopped. They didn't like flow through the whole movie and connect at the end. So that's kind of my issue with it. But I'd say give it a try since it's on streaming. Just don't expect too much. And it kind of makes me sad because I don't feel like there's now a great future for Lee Winnell's universe he was trying to build, especially if Rob Eggers is now going from like the classic like vampire into like a werewolf movie is going to be his next thing. Like he's kind of doing his own Universal monster universe, which will definitely overtake this. But I'm still hopeful. I still hope Lee Winnell continues doing something. I really like his movies. So hopefully we'll see something cool from him. February. 2 movies that I didn't have any kind of hopes for, and ended up just watching them. The Monkey and Heart Eyes came out in February. I ended up watching them both this year on their different streaming services, whichever they're. I think The Monkey's on Hulu right now. And is Heart Eyes a Netflix movie?
I think so. So disclaimer, more than what we're going to talk about has come out since November. The ones that we're mentioning are basically just the ones that I recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hard Eyes is one of those that I don't remember hearing a lot about, but I feel like I see it on Netflix every time I sign into Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we all haven't seen all of these movies, and there's just too much for us to get through, like for the whole year, anyways. But yeah, but The Monkey, did you see that one, Justin?
The Monkey was okay. I thought, are you about to say something, Josh?
I love The Monkey.
I knew Josh had seen it. I knew.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Like, it was one, and I wish I would do this with movies more. I went in with 0 expectations.
Nice. Yeah.
And like I said, had so much fun. I thought like it did such a good job of mixing like comedy with the horror elements. And I just thought it was fantastic.
Nice.
100%. And that's such a good example of a movie that could have tried to take itself seriously at the end. Because through most of the movie, it's like teetering this line where it's like, this is silly and weird, but we're still solving a puzzle. There's still a
Yep.
mystery. And then there's a monkey. Just, it's dumb. It's stupid. It's a silly horror movie, but it was fun to watch. And they leaned into it so hard at the end. And
Yep.
we all know that final scene at the end if you've seen the movie. That was such a like the entire movie leaned into the bit and I was so there for it. That's the
Yep.
type of like campy modern horror movie I want more of.
So good.
I liked this movie. I didn't know what to expect, really. Honestly, I seeing the trailer, I didn't realize that it was going to be so comedic. And I don't know why. Maybe I only saw like that initial teaser and then I kind of forgot about the movie until it came to streaming. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I heard about this." And I think you guys talked about it in our group chat too at some point. But I finally gave it a watch, and I feel like I wanted it to be something else, but after a little while, I just like accepted what it was, and I can really appreciate it for that. It was like had me laughing out loud at times, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get this, I get it. It was good. It was funny because isn't this one directed by Oz Perkins, who did Long Legs?
Yep.
And he's directing something else that I think is coming out before the end of the year or maybe early next year. Something busy guy.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Oh yeah, Heart Eyes. So this is one I did watch. Josh, did you see this one? Heart Eyes.
I did not.
It's,
I did not.
It's kind of
I need to grab some water. I haven't
Okay.
seen the next 5, so I'll be like 2 minutes. You guys keep talking.
All right, cool. Yeah, Heart Eyes. I'm just gonna read the description of it. I think it came out this year. Yeah, it came out directly to Netflix. What month are we in? February. I didn't watch it until a lot later though. For whatever reason. It's an American romantic comedy slasher film directed by Josh Rubin, and it says here on the movie overview: a masked maniac with glowing red eyes returns every Valentine's Day to slaughter unsuspecting couples. When a cynical ad executive and her hopelessly romantic colleague become the next target, they decide to fight back and end the reign of terror. So this guy has like a grudge against Valentine's Day, so he comes back every Valentine's Day, and if he sees anyone out celebrating, he decides to end them with his knife or whatever. And it's kind of like, it's exactly what it said. It's a romantic comedy slasher. I feel like it's a slasher kind of at the end of the movie, and like the beginning parts is like the really boring, generic romantic comedy stuff where she like meets this guy and she thinks he's very handsome. They go on a date and they don't connect. And then she's like, okay, this guy is not my type, kind of a D bag, not my type, not a kind of guy I want to be in a relationship with. And then he tries to win her back and like they're like have that little back and forth, like whatever. And the whole time the movie is going on, there's little bits and pieces of like they'll see on the news like, oh, don't go to this spot on on Valentine's Day because the Heart Eyes killer, blah blah blah, whatever. And they keep on seeing it, stuff like that. And then they of course end up going on a date inadvertently on Valentine's Day, and then have to go through the whole typical, very generic slasher movie ending. And it's just, I don't know. It was all right. I'll say that. I wouldn't like, if you have the time and you have Netflix, maybe give it a try. But it's nothing special, really. I feel like it's tried to just capitalize on the nature of the holiday it was based on, and that's really it. Like, I wouldn't watch it any other time of year, I don't think. But, you know, it is what it is. Has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, so there you go. Let's see, where are we? We're moving along to March. All right, so there's a handful of movies on this that I have not seen, but one in particular that I have voiced my opinion on. The Woman in the Yard. Josh dipped and left us all alone. Uh-oh. Am I the one that dipped? Oh, boy. All right. If y'all can still hear me, I will be right back. All right. One moment, please.
Hello?
Austin?
Yeah.
I think so.
And we back.
I was muted for a long time.
For the whole podcast.
The whole podcast.
No. Sorry about that, everyone. We're back, I think. I think we're good, actually. Let me just write up a time code for Lee in case we need to edit that part out.
I blame Arden.
Ooh.
Back there playing, I don't know what that is.
He's innocent.
Like Sega Mario?
It's
What game is that?
I don't know.
He just picked up some sort of mushroom or something.
It's that is on the Sega Genesis Mini. It's just on the demo, so it's just doing little previews of all the games.
He's just chilling on the floor watching it.
Yeah, he has his tablet as well.
Oh, Road Rash. I love that game.
Justin, you're dating yourself.
Hey, I don't care. I love Road Rash. All right. Hard Eyes.
Yeah, we're gonna get back into it. Yeah, Hard Eyes. Kind of a forgettable one, but it's one, like, if it's Valentine's Day and you feel like it, go for it.
Valentine's horror.
Yeah. But yeah, moving into March, a couple, like I said, a couple I haven't seen. I think Josh, you said the same. The only one I've
only seen two of them.
I've only seen one, just The Woman in the Yard.
It looks so bad. I haven't seen it, but I can confidently say like 2 out of 10 on a good day.
You know,
like if I had a good day at work, I'm riding high.
I honestly was sold from the trailer. I thought it looked very cool. I thought it looked like it was going to have an awesome twist and end up really surprising me. And it honestly, for me, the movie was working up until a certain point, and then it felt like it was getting very stale. And then I have a huge problem with the ending, which I think I talked about last time on the podcast. Not last November, obviously, but when I watched this movie earlier this year, it was in my top 3 that I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to say that my big issue with the ending is the same issue that I kind of have with the Smile movies. This movie is kind of about something very serious, something very important, and a lot of it has to do with mental health and getting over trauma and things like that. This movie, the way this movie ended, left you with a feeling like if you get into a situation like that, there's no way that you can beat it. There's nothing you can do. There's not enough support that you can get to overcome your trauma and get the help that you need when it comes to mental health issues. And I just have such a huge problem with that. I can't I will not accept that ever. And I think it's a horrible message to leave your audience with, especially when a lot of movies in the horror genre or adjacent to horror use that same theme, but then can end it in such a better way, such a more hopeful way. When that's your main theme, I think you need to be a lot more intentional about how you end your movie. And I think The Woman in the Yard did an awful job with their ending.
But if your movie is about trusting strangers while you're on vacation, you can end as hopeless as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say, because I absolutely hear that complaint, makes total sense, especially in the context of Smile 1 and Smile 2. I think there are ways you can end a movie on a downer note, and have movies that do feel hopeless, but there's still even in that there's hope in how the story's told and the message.
Right.
I was Heretic. Maybe that could even be a good example. I was reading some of the stuff online about that, and some of the theories for the ending. And I don't want to spoil it because I do think that's a good one for people to watch.
Oh yeah.
But I read some cool ideas and theories about how they approach that, and how maybe that wasn't a great happy ending, and it was a way to show kind of this desperate, horrible. Smile, though, I will say I've recommended Smile to people, and I've told them this is the type of movie I would, with how it was marketed, it feels very wide net. I wouldn't be opposed to a trigger warning at the front of that one.
Oh,
there was
100%.
content in that film that was really heavy, and I don't think it was set up well, in the trailers at least, to prepare people for the type of content they were going to get into.
Yeah, I agree, and I actually really do like those movies. I think that, especially the second one, they're very creative, and a lot of it is really well done. Some of it's cheap jump scares, and then there's a couple parts that are a little bit cliche, we just happen to find an expert in town that can help us with this problem, that kind of thing. But overall, I think the movies are well done. And I still recommend them, and I like watching them. I wish they were, especially them not being the main characters from 1 to 2 not being connected in any way, makes me wish that they ended differently. But if it had, perhaps we wouldn't have gotten a sequel. And I do think Smile 2 was really good. So I like Josh's take on that. Maybe just a trigger warning at the beginning.
I did see Woman in the Yard, and I agree it was bad, and don't want to spend much more time on it.
Fair enough. Yeah, a couple other ones that came out in March, but I haven't seen any of these.
I have only seen The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Okay.
It's another one that I would say, if you're not a fan of horror, it's a good like gateway horror film.
Yeah.
Okay. And I talked enough about it at the beginning of the podcast.
I heard.
I've
No, you
gushed
were
over
muted
it.
for all of that.
I don't think.
No, I was unmuted for that part.
Locked is not.
But,
I don't think I've heard of this one.
The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Locked. I don't think I heard of Locked.
Oh, Locked.
before.
So that's the one with which I haven't watched it. I think it's streaming now. It's Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's hijacking a car, and apparently the car is like rigged by a character played by Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, cool.
And literally the title, Bill Skarsgård is locked in a car.
I watched that trailer and wanted to leave the theater for the movie I was going to see.
Oh,
I couldn't
dang.
believe how bad that looked.
Yeah,
Am I
that's
alone
why-
in this?
No, that's why I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
As
Doesn't-
much as I love Bill Skarsgård, I had zero interest. And Anthony frickin' Hopkins,
Yeah. for
but
real.
like the premise of that movie, zero interest for me.
Yeah,
So
it
dumb.
doesn't have great reviews either. A 5.7 on
Yeah, I've
IMDb,
only heard negative things.
2.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd also. Then what was the other one?
Death of a Unicorn.
I heard this was good. I think Brooks watched
Mhm.
Death of a Unicorn and really liked it. I think this is on HBO.
It's on
Max.
HBO Max, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't see
But that's
this
another one that it's on my list. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
It looks interesting. Let's move on. What do we have next here? April.
Dawn.
Until Dawn, yeah, based on the moderately successful video game published by PlayStation, I guess, of the same name. The movie isn't really that similar to the game, at least not the story in the game, which is kind of a bummer. But it was a decent one. I don't think it was awful, but it was like kind of fun to watch, especially because they introduce, and they say this, they showed in the trailer, but there's like a time loop element to this where they're trapped in this like old house or whatever, old mansion, whatever it is, and they're trying to figure out how to escape, and every time they all die, like time resets back to a certain point after they got locked in, and they have to figure out how to escape.
What kind of game is it? Like,
It's like
what kind of
Telltale-
game is that?
like the Telltale
okay.
Walking Dead series. It's all choice based.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. There's not really any gameplay per se, at least
Right.
not like traditionally. You just kind of make the choices of each of the characters, and the perspective changes from character to character. You know, it's like a group of, college age people that end up at essentially like a cabin in the woods type of situation.
Yeah, it's a movie in itself,
Yeah, it is.
essentially.
And the game has nothing to do with like a time loop of any kind or anything like that. The director said that it was a creative choice to use that in the movie to emulate being able to try the game, over and over, like try different choices in the game. And I'm like, yeah,
That's cool.
I get that. I think that's like a good way to approach something like that. But I think you almost just want the movie to be the characters making the decisions that make the most sense and just have like the best ending. But you're not
Right.
gonna there's so many different things that you can pick, and I think there's a way where like every character can survive the entire game if you pick
everything.
yeah, where if you pick everything right. So it's kind of just like you have to make it one way or the other. Like you can't please everybody with it. So I think going for something different than what's in the game was probably the right choice for the movie. It just didn't end up being like anything super special for me. It was fine. I think it was a decent watch, but not something I would revisit anytime soon. I don't think.
Mm.
Another
Yeah, that's
April-
not. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think. What is that one on? We watched that one on streaming. Let's see here. Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I don't think I will either.
Did either of you guys play or know anything about the game?
I've watched playthroughs of some of the games, and I really enjoy watching playthroughs of some games. Those are perfect for me to watch. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's not so much about gameplay, it's more about story. I get to
Yeah.
watch a content creator I like.
No.
That's the perfect game for me to just watch on Twitch.
Just Bethy in the chat said it has like 6 different endings. The game does, which is cool. I like that as a game. I think that's really cool, especially like if you're planning on playing it multiple times. And I think there was another game like that came out. I guess it was last year at this point. The Quarry. Did you play that, Justin, or do you know what I'm talking about?
I started playing some of it while I was on Game Pass, but I didn't get very far into playing it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I like that kind of game. I just don't play them very often, but they did recently put the Until Dawn, I think the remastered version that came out recently on the PlayStation like game catalog, so I might try that out this month if I get a chance. The Ugly Stepsister, another release in April. I did not see this one.
Yeah.
Yep. That was one. Lots and lots of body horror. But I'll let Josh do most of the talking because I know he really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was just I wasn't in the mindset for a foreign film and reading subtitles in the moment. I need to go back and watch it. But it had a lot of good like body horror stuff in it. But yeah, so I'll let Josh take the lead on this
I
one.
got a question right before you start, Josh. Is it so the Ugly Stepsister, is it kind of based off of this story, like this Cinderella fairy tale type thing? Okay. All right, cool.
Yep. It is the Cinderella fairy tale from the perspective of the ugly stepsister. It was a body horror where someone is at times willingly, at times unwillingly a participant in just major body changes and surgeries and cosmetic upgrades and making choices that will impact their body to hopefully make them more attractive. It was horrible. It was a movie that you're watching as just horrible things are happening to somebody and they're going through this like terrible situation. It was a depressing movie to watch, but in terms of body horror, there were so many things that were super compelling. I remember, so there are a few scenes that stand out. There's like one primary scene, if you look it up online, that's the one everybody's talking about. And then there were 2 other scenes that really got me. There's one, and I'm going to say it's a minor spoiler, doesn't impact viewing, so I'm going to mention it. And there's a scene where the ugly stepsister has a cosmetic surgery to have eyelashes sewn onto her eyelids. And they sit in that moment and how horrific that surgery was, that cosmetic upgrade. And you're watching as this character, she does want a better life. She wants to not be in poverty. She wants to live in the castle. She wants a better home. She wants to escape her abusive mother. Like all these things. And it's culminating into her sitting in a chair, having someone push this needle through her eyelid. And it was so tense. Very, very intense body horror film without a slasher. It wasn't a
Right.
a film where some murderer is running around hitting people with an axe. It was just like cosmetic surgery and then some weird things that happened. I
I
enjoyed it
don't
a
feel
lot
good.
because that was a fun twist where it was like, yeah, I know that's crazy. I loved it. It was horrible. No, I thought it was a fun twist where there's no one who is like the agent of this evil that's doing it.
Right.
It's this person who's either a willing participant or kind of forced into it by their family. Um, which I thought was an interesting take. Yeah. It
Hmm.
was it was interesting. Big trigger warning on that one.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, it's very graphic, both in terms of violence. It's also a foreign film. It's very graphic in terms of sexual content. I'll put a big old fat warning on this one.
Yeah.
Um, looks like this one has great reviews actually, and I feel like I only heard of it through you guys. Um, yeah, 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, looks like it's
6.
96% on Rotten Tomatoes. That might maybe it's the audience score. Let me see. No, that's the critic score, 96%. Curious to watch this one. Did you guys see the streaming, or did you was this like a rental or something?
I think I rented it, and that's why like I sat and watched it when I wasn't ready for it.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
You're gonna spend the money, you got to watch it, right?
Yeah.
I think I rented it too.
Cool, nice. I'll have to check that one out. It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some bangers in May, guys.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Bring her
Jeez.
back.
Bring her
Yup.
back. Fear Street Prom Queen, Final Destination, Bloodlines, and Clown in a Cornfield. I've only seen 2 of those. Still
Same.
interested. I liked all the other
Same.
Fear Street movies, well enough. So I'm still interested in seeing Prom Queen. But yeah, bring her back. This is going to be up there and probably my top 5 of the year. Just overall, I think Bring Her Back was a fantastic movie. Another one of these like very, I don't know what the word, I keep looking for a word. I think it's original, an amazing original horror movie that was done on a relatively low budget. This was made by the same directors, I think writers and directors of Talk to Me.
Yeah.
And this movie was just incredibly well done and like very well acted, well shot, just like evoked every single emotion and feeling that they were going for and just had me in tears at the end. It was just
Yep.
Mhm.
like one of those experiences that just it's so memorable, and it's just all everything just really came together so perfectly. I just could not have asked for anything more. It had some really gnarly stuff, some like really
Oh.
like the knife scene, if you guys
Yep.
recall, if you'll ever forget that one.
Oh, that
you
was
probably
so
won't.
crazy.
And then it has like some very emotional stuff. It has things that are like just so frustrating, like 2 very vulnerable protagonists as the main characters, and they
Yep.
just get put through everything imaginable, and it was just so well done. I loved every minute of it, even though like it's so intense and it makes you feel so bad and like you just want to be able to do something. It was just like I don't know. I just loved it. I think it's amazing. It's definitely up there, maybe top 2 movies of the year so far for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
I loved it. It also, I think, dodged the Sinister problem. And this isn't a problem that Sinister, the movie, has. I think it's a problem that Sinister created. And that's where, like, these shots in the film that are telling story elements or kind of like a jump out of the story are scarier than the story. You know what I mean? Like in Sinister, he turns on the videos and he watches the videos, and you have like the mower scene.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
That was the that might be the worst jump scare I've ever had. That scared me so bad.
it was awful.
And I feel like a bunch of movies try to replicate it, where they give you some reason to watch some of these outside the story, and that ends
Right.
up being terrifying.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes.
And it's sometimes more scary than the movie, like
Yeah.
the real story I'm trying to tell. I remember I was in the theater, and the opening like
Yeah.
scenes for this are really scary, and it's like the same deal where it's a story in the story, and it was really scary, and I immediately thought, oh no, it's the Sinister problem. That's going to be the scariest thing in the entire movie. Boy, was I wrong. Just the
Yeah.
tension that movie builds, and then I feel like like Austin, you're touching on this too. All of the emotions that they just weave
Yeah.
through the story, and I felt so conflicted in who I cared for watching the movie, like especially at times with the older brother who I care for and I sympathize for, but he's in such a hard spot, and you're
Yeah.
watching like a teenager who is not emotionally ready to be in this situation, try to figure it out, and I was ugh,
Yeah.
that was gut wrenching. That was horrific.
It's
Ugh.
heartbreaking. It's awful. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
touching back on the Sinister issue again, I don't I didn't watch a whole bunch of trailers for Bring Her Back. I just had seen Talk to Me, and I knew I was going to watch the movie, so I didn't like keep up with a lot of the marketing or anything for Bring Her Back. But what I totally so those other scenes felt like they surprised me because I wasn't expecting them. But I really liked that touch. Another thing where there's not too much explained, and it's not over explained. It doesn't take control of the story by any means. Just like with Together, and Heretic, I felt like, but it had enough to realize, like, to fuel like what's happening on the other side of the protagonists of the movie. But anyways, yeah, I agree with Sinister. I know it's a great movie and I love it. I just like I can't be scared of the villain because this guy just plays guitar in Slipknot and I love him. He's awesome. Like that was never scary. That was never scary for that reason. But I see what you mean, and I do think that's like it feels like Sinister was maybe not the first one to do it, but maybe it got popular after Sinister had all those like 8mm scenes or whatever they were, because it just was done so well in that movie, and I felt like that was something to try and emulate afterwards. But that was just my little tangent. But I do want to hear, Justin, your thoughts on Bring Her Back.
Yeah. So this is another one. This is another one of those examples of, and I've said this on the podcast before, like, I don't feel like there is a genre of movie or TV that explores the entire spectrum of emotions better than horror. And I'll stand by that until the day I die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And this movie, like, I've never had a horror movie like tug at my heartstrings the way that this one did. Like, just the, like Josh was saying, like, you feel for these people, the stuff that they're going through. It was just, it was so good. I loved it. And then it, like, because a lot of times, when horror does try to venture into those other categories. So, like, a lot of times, like we talked about it with The Monkey, like, a lot of times these horror movies that are also trying to be comedic just lean way too far into the comedy. And it kind of takes me out of the horror aspect.
Yeah.
And like, they did such a good job of like weaving into this like story of drama / tragedy while also like giving you those horror moments. So good. Loved it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, just a great movie. Hopefully, just helping to propel the careers of the directors because so far they are just 2 for 2, and I'm really excited to see more from them, especially if they keep it like in this kind of same genre. And some people were even talking about, like I think Talk to Me still potentially is getting a direct sequel, or maybe at least another movie like in the same universe. And there's like theories that Bring Her Back and Talk to Me both exist in the same universe. So whatever the case is, I'm just really, I'm excited for more of that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about since I think we've all seen it, Final Destination Bloodlines. Let's talk about that real quick before we
Yeah,
go.
I actually watched. I think I had only seen the first Final Destination. And so I'm pretty sure in less than 2 to 3 weeks time, I watched them all.
Oh, dang, nice.
Leading into Bloodlines.
Sweet.
And I mean, for what it is, like Final Destination movies they're those kind of movies where you like, what you're getting. And I thought for the most part, it was a good, in my opinion, it was a good Final Destination movie.
Yeah.
I thought it, how if you've seen a Final Destination movie, there are no spoilers. Like, how they're all going to end.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
But yeah. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good Final Destination movie.
I'm going to go next because I think Josh probably liked it the most out of the three of us. So I watched all of these movies like growing up. But the first one is the only one that I ever really go back to, and I think the first Final Destination movie is actually, personally, I think it's almost perfect. Especially for what they were trying to go for. And if it had never gotten any sequels, I think it would be like more of an actual classic and not like considered what it is today because of its sequels. I think Final Destination Bloodlines is definitely the best sequel to the original. I don't think any of the other ones are really that much good. Like, they have their moments, they have highlights for sure. And I agree with what you said, like, what you're getting into. But I think that's definitely true with the sequels, but I think the first one is just done so well and like it takes itself seriously to the point where like it's a mystery at the same time. It's almost like a murder mystery type thing. And the thing I always talk about this whenever we talk about Final Destination, but the reason that one feels so good is because it was written by James Wong, who was a writer on X-Files, and this movie was originally pitched as an episode for the X-Files where like the character of Death like might become like a recurring character, and that had to get rejected because it was like too big of an idea to put into one episode, and they just kind of moved on from that. So it ended up becoming a movie instead. So I always think about like the two FBI agents in the original Final Destination could have just been Mulder and Scully, and it would have worked perfectly fine as like, maybe like you could think of it as a spin-off or something. I think the one flaw that the first Final Destination movie has, outside of anything technical, because I don't care about any of that stuff, I think the one flaw for me is that when the water goes back under in the bathroom, when it's like the water seeps back under the toilet, because I think that like Death isn't worried about leaving clues behind, so why did it hide that one as opposed to all the other ones? And I think the reason for that is so that the audience understands what's happening there, but I think we would have got it without them having to do it that way and make it more ambiguous as to like, is Death actually the villain in this movie, or is this just a big coincidence and all these people are paranoid and like hung up on something that's not really happening? Like, I think leave the audience with that question and this movie is like a classic instead of, what it's considered with all its sequels and everything.
I think the one flaw with the first movie is them thinking I'm supposed to believe Allie Larder is in high school.
Oh my goodness. Allie Larder had to catch a stray on this one, didn't she? But yeah. I mean, this is just such a Hollywood and television thing. Like, they just can't cast young actors to play high school characters, can they? They just won't. They just refuse to do it. You got to get someone in their early 30s or late 20s to play 17 and 18-year-olds.
Yep.
Fine, whatever. But yeah,
Too funny.
Josh, I think you are the one that liked Final Destination Bloodlines the most out of the three
I
of
did
us.
enjoy it the most. I had great viewing parties for it because I saw it the day it came out, and it was a pretty packed theater. Everybody was there for the vibe. Awesome time. And then I saw it a second time with my buddy who I hadn't seen in a few months, and he's pretty out there, and he talked through the whole movie. It was only him and I in the theater. I think I sent you guys a video of just him talking as I'm watching Final Destination in the movie theater with my buddy just yapping the whole time. It was great. It was excellent.
Awesome.
But that's what those movies are for. They're for and I will say the first one, by far the best, tonally very different. There's one Final Destination movie, and it's Final Destination 1. And the others are not the same thing.
Right.
The others are campy and they're silly and it's outrageous and it's more of a show and spectacle than it is a mystery. And like they play up the mystery because it's Final Destination, but that's not why anybody's watching it. And I think they found a good middle ground in this one, which made it really fun for me, where it's like I'm here for the opening scene and they crush the opening scene. And then the mystery will drive the plot. It's the same mystery I've watched 5 times. So I don't care about it. So don't put too much emphasis